Hello everyone. Today we are gonna talk about the forecasting in decision making. Actually, forecasting in decision making is play the crucial role for the decision making because when you want to start a business, when you want to have actually some analyzing for your job before starting everything, you can have some forecasting because in this situation cows that you have a good actually you have a good choice, you have a good selection from the everything that happen around of your business. So let's I want to talk about the brief of importance of forecasting in decision making, and then I bring some examples and a brief of some method for the forecasting that you can use for forecasting and you can learn in this session. So let's start. Importance of forecasting in decision making. Forecasting supports three major types of decisions: strategic decision, medium term, short term decisions. And actually the strategic decisions is taken only once during the lifetime of a production system. For example, product selection, deciding whether to manufacture electric vehicles in response to future market trends, or plant location, factory location, is choosing an optimal factory location to minimize transportation costs and maximize market access. And for the medium term decision, we can say for this situation is planning for a horizon of 6 months to 2 years. For example, aggregate production planning and manpower planning and inventory policy. And if I want to have a more explanation about this, for example, for the inventory policy, we can say a home, for example, a home appliance store increases refrigerator stock in anticipation of summer demand. The third one is the short-term decision. Short-term decision means that the ongoing decision, day-to-day or weekly decisions. For example, job sequencing and scheduling. Job sequencing is imagine that a factory prioritizes small urgent orders over larger, less urgent ones. And scheduling is assigning priority to tasks with tighter deadlines for efficient workflow. So as I told you, I bring some method that you can use for the forecasting in every business. The method of forecasting is encompasses of some parts. That the first is subjective or intuitive methods. The technique for these methods is opinion polls, interviewers, and the Delphi method. For example, regional sales forecast means that a regional sales manager gathers inputs from local sales representatives about expected sales growth. And Delphi method is a panel of experts, including oil company executives and energy policy markets, predicts when global petroleum reserves will be depleted. So, for this Delphi method, most of the time they try to that anonymous the name of the expert is from these methods. Because the anonymity among participants ensures unbiased opinions. So, like all of the methods that you can use in for the forecasting and everything in your business, these methods have some advantage bullet and disadvantage bullet point. So the advantage bullet points is leverages experts' knowledge and experience, but it has some disadvantages. They're vulnerable to subjective biases, such as saves the staff exaggerating forecast to impress managers. The second one is data averaging method. Data averaging method is about the moving average. We can say about the moving average and the exceptional smoothing. Moving average, for example, predicting monthly sales by averaging the past 6 months of sales data. This is the formula that is the FT equals sum of last car periods divided by car. Car is the time of the period, months, day, year, everything. And the advantages of this averaging method is very simple. It's very simple to compute and for calculating. Is most of the time many of company use from this situation for calculating and compute everything that for they want to for the forecasting. But it has the bold disadvantage, that is ignore seasonal trends and sudden changes, and it's very important. The sudden changes and seasonal trends can help you for having some forecasting and estimating some problems that maybe happen, or decreasing and increasing everything that you want to produce for enhancing your benefits. Exceptional smoothing is, for example, forecasting seasonal product demand using recent sales data with higher weight. The formula for the exceptional smoothing is this: ft plus 1 equal alpha multiple dt plus 1 minus alpha multiple ft. And it has some benefit for the actually calculating. This is the accounts for all past data, which more emphasize on recent trends, but they requires careful selection of alphabet, because this is very difficult and should be very careful for the selection of alpha, and have many attention and notice about this session, because if you don't have a good area and good points for your don't have any selection, any correct selection of alpha, 100% your forecasting is totally wrong, and you cannot have a correct forecasting for your business or everything. The third one, the third one is the regression models. Regression models, it means trend extrapolation. The past 5 years is about the past 5 years, and it has captures long-term trends effectively, but assumes past trends will continue unchanged, which may not hold true in dynamic market. Most of the time in the dynamic market, we cannot actually use from this situation, because this just assume past trends will continue unchanged, but it's not correct according by the dynamic market. The causal or econometric models incorporates causal variables for forecasting. It means that something that causal variables for forecasting used from these circumstances, and actually, for example, predicting demand for hybrid cars if gasoline prices rise. I think that makes sense for you. And assessing the impact of important tariffs on the demand for electronic goods. And answer this methods is very important for answering the what if
scenarios. Most of the time we need you know about we need know about some answers that actually responds to some questions that start with what if. It's very important for the forecasting, and you can use from this kind of questions for have a better and have a correct and reasonable actually forecasting. But this model has some disadvantages because of some causal incorporates causal variables. This is very complex to model and require detailed data, and it takes time. You should have an experts team for using from this method. But the response and answer from this kind of this model and this kind of questions, 100% make you a reasonable response for having the better situation for your business or for your job. And the next one is the time series analysis. Time series analysis encompasses of the decomposition and actually a statistic model and demand pattern. Decomposition. For the definition of this, it separates data into trend, seasonal, and random components. It's very important for the time series analysis. You should have prepare from this and then use this analyzing for your forecasting. And for example, forecasting ice cream sales based on summer demand patterns over the past 3 years. And a stochastic model or Jenkins is very hard for the pronunciation, actually for me especially. The definition of this model is uses historical demand distributions for forecasting and predicting daily pharmaceutical sales using stochastics patterns, and the highly accurate for short-term forecast for some bullet point for advantages of using or metrics from using for these methods. But the time intensive and resources heavy is the disadvantageous bullet point for this method. So the next one is the demand pattern. Demand pattern, we can say for the demand pattern, use the normal demand pattern, and the next one is the abnormal demand pattern. Okay, so for explanation about the demand pattern that encompasses of two parts, normal demand patterns. At first, for initially I want to have some brief explanation about this, that normal demand patterns is encompasses of constant linear trend and cyclic. Constant, for example, consistent demand for bottled water throughout the year. A linear trend, for example, increasing e-commerce sales due to growing customer base. Cyclic, we can have some example according by the seasonal example is winter coats peaking during December and declining in summer. Air conditioners peaking in summer and dropping during winter. So according by the seasonal, we can have some forecasting about this. And seasonal with growth. So example of this, a retail chain experiencing seasonal holiday demand with an overall annual growth in sales. So
The last one, it was about the abnormal demand patterns, sudden spikes, for example, increased mask demand during a pandemic, for example, COVID, and sudden drops, example, decline in demand after a more efficient competitor enters the market. So, uh, for the forecasting, please let me, I want to have some okay, I want to have some conclusion for you. But before of this, I want to have a comparison the forecasting vs prediction. Forecasting, what's difference between the forecasting and prediction? Most of the times, some people have a mistake between the forecasting and predictions. But forecasting is objective and scientific and free from individual bias. Results are reproducible, and for example, sales predictions using regression models. And for the prediction is subjective and intuitive, and prone to personal bias, and result are non reproducible. And for example, for this prediction, we can say the personal guesses by a fortune teller. So, so guys, according by this session, we have some keyword. We have some conclusion about this. We learned that the forecasting is a crucial tool for decision making at all organization levels. Selecting the appropriate forecasting method depends on data, characteristics, and organizational objectives. And then we can say about we learn the understanding demand patterns, normal vs abnormal, helps refine forecasting methods. And finally, I think it's the advanced models like Delphi or econometric methods are effective for complex, uncertain scenarios. So, I hope this session actually was helpful for you, and I'm gonna continue for the forecasting for the next video. Please come with me. Thank you for your attention. Have a good time.